the Temple of Speed and the pilgrims have come to worship. It's all about the speed today. Qualifying awaits us. Welcome to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix.
Hello there everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back to my F1 25 My Team Career Mode. We are here at round 16 at the Temple of Speed for the Italian Grand Prix here at historic Monza. If you haven't seen the last one, do be sure to check that one out before you see this one. We are off the back of two fairly miserable races. Hungary, we were just outside the points, and at the Dutch Grand Prix we made some pretty poor strategic calls. In fact, the strategy call was so bad you'd think that someone from Ferrari would have encouraged it. Anyway, we're here at Monza, moving on, playing as Tim Tramnitz, as it's round 16. That first lap, good enough to get through Q1. We did do a second lap just to make sure, but yeah, I think the first one would have sufficed anyway. I'm not sure. Actually, no, it would not have sufficed. So the fact that we improved, that got us through. But when it comes to Q2, we were struggling to get the lap together. As you can see from the chicane there, we had a bit of a bad entrance. And then from then on out, it was all about just trying to recover time and pushing a bit too hard. And what also didn't help out of the Parabolica was A, the wide line we took, and B, the fact that Fernando Alonso thought we were in the race. Cheers, Fernando. Really, really appreciate that. It's P16 for the Italian Grand Prix. Don't forget to stick it out to the end of this career mode video for some announcements within the career mode itself.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Antonelli, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, and Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Ocon, Alex Albon, and Lawson, Tramnitz, Behrman, Nico Hülkenberg, and Isaac Hadjar, Bortoletto, Doohan, Stroll, and Zane Maloney rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. So here we are at Monza.
27 laps of the fastest circuit on the calendar. What can we do from P15? We are underway and look at the launch we've got off the start straight away. 2 positions, make that 3, make that a couple more as we're having a look up the inside and look at this. Oh, we positioned up well. We've just got across the corner there and we've lost a couple of places in the process, but we've now got George Russell alongside. Side by side we go with Mr. Russell, and that should be the position. We've gone from 15th up to 8th. What a start that was. And we're having a look at Ocon down the inside. That's not going to work. Back out of that one. It was ambition ahead of adhesion, to say the least. But we are still in P8. We're still in the points. A good start to this Italian Grand Prix. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's try and hold on to some points here. We've had 2 races without points, and I would rather bring home some points from this one. Right, we're trying to get within range of Ocon and stay within the DRS so that we can get a bit of a tow and the DRS with it. Verstappen, of course, leading the way. Who else would it be in this career mode? Let's be honest. And that's George Russell getting... I wasn't sure who it was at first. It's George Russell coming past us and moving up into P8. We weren't really able to do anything about that. the Mercedes in a straight line is a beast. Whereas we haven't really been focusing on front end speed upgrades this season. Rather the chassis, the drag reduction and the weight reduction. Those have been our main sort of focuses in this first season. And it has helped us, but on a circuit like this where top end speed is required, it may not be the best thing. But at the moment we're holding on to P9. There is a little gaggle of cars in front of us that we are trying to stay within and stay within the DRS range so that they can tow us along. Gasly having a look at Ocon. Ocon got ahead of Gasly, but now Gasly... No, Ocon I think has just got past Gasly. I do beg your pardon. Ocon having a look at Gasly, and Antonelli giving me a little bit of a love tap there to say get out of the way. Antonelli now going to the left. There's nothing I can do about that. Antonelli is through, and Oscar Piastri is having a look as we hold the inside line, going side by side with the McLaren, wheel to wheel. Down the main straight we go. It's still side by side action here. Piastri just about having the engine speed on us, but who's going to be braver on the brakes into turn one? Of course it's me. But Piastri trying to get braver, still alongside, still side by side, but eventually backs out, and we hold on to P10, and I'm coming back after Kimi Antonelli now for 9th. We're going to have a look down the inside of the second chicane, and that was a nice textbook overtake to move us into the top 9. Next up are Ocon and Gasly in 7th and 8th. They're having their own battle, and I think Russell has now got ahead of the pair of them, so Russell trying to make his way forwards in this Italian Grand Prix as we arrive to a little bit of a static phase of it, with Antonelli trying to gain on us, but we have got a relatively small gap on him, and in fact he's now got Piastri giving him trouble. Ocon's got Gasly still having their own little fight, and while they're fighting it was keeping me within range, but now we're just falling out, and that's going to allow Oscar Piastri a chance to come back. The static phase only lasting about a lap as Piastri comes back past and moves himself into P7. The McLaren looking quite strong. Antonelli has now dropped behind Alex Albon, so that's unfortunate for him. Piastri's rear just sticking out a bit on the exit of turn 1. And is that going to give us a run into the chicane? Answer no, but we're still staying with him as the pit stop phase begins to open here, and we'll be on hards pretty soon as we go down the inside of Oscar Piastri, and we just overshot a bit, and Piastri able to get back ahead. But if we can stick with the slipstream of the Australian, we might be able to find a way back past here at Monza. Currently running in P5, but of course some of the front runners have stopped. We have not, as we force the issue on Oscar Piastri to get ahead and move into the top 4. Piastri having to drop down to P5, and Antonelli 6th, but we've hit the gravel, gone wide, and Piastri, that was very nearly a nasty accident. As I had to slide out of the corner, I had to jam on the brakes and try and control it, and we nearly had a very nasty accident with Oscar Piastri. Piastri grateful for the place, but I imagine his heart rate was right where mine was. That could have been nasty, and I do think if penalties for unsafe rejoins were on in this game, that would be one. Back out onto the track after our stop, and it's a drama-free stop when we're still going along quite nicely, but we've got Carlos Sainz right behind us, and we've also hit the gravel, which means that Carlos Sainz is now going up the inside to get in front of us. I'm fighting off Sainz as much as I can. Sainz is through, but I've allowed that to happen so that I can have DRS and retake the Williams. And look at the momentum he's got down the straight. Hamilton then is out of the race. I'm not sure what's happened there. That'll probably be an engine failure on Lewis's part as we try and stay with Carlos, using all the track and a bit more. And Ollie Behrman is inviting himself to have a look up the inside, but I'm not accepting that one as we come out of the Parabolica. Sainz pits in now. Behrman having a look. He's really having a look, is the young British driver. And Behrman going for the position. Can I hold him back? Is that a McLaren trying to get through as well? Yes, that's Piastri who's trying to force his way through. None of that. Behrman's come off the corner wrong, so we've allowed ourselves a chance at Behrman. Now we can take a run on Piastri, going side by side round the Curva Grande. Not really a place you want to see cars going side by side. That is terrifying to think about. Down the inside we go, moving ourselves back into P9. I am fighting so hard to stay in the points here, and now we've got Behrman, we've got Alonso, and we've got Antonelli. Alonso going to the outside of Ollie Behrman. They're running side by side. This is for 11th, so no points for this one. Behrman's lost the place to Alonso, but I think Ollie might just have DRS, so he might have something to say about that. And look at Antonelli in the background. Antonelli trying to get past them both in the Mercedes. He's going straight into the middle here. Is Antonelli going to pull this one off? 3 into 1, that won't work. How have they not had a collision there? And Antonelli sees the pair of them off. The 18-year-old just not showing any mercy as Oscar Piastri blasts back past me and back into P9. But we're going to chase him down in the Parabolica and try and retake that place. We've got the DRS on the straight. We don't have that much overtake, unfortunately. But I'm hoping we have enough to get past Lando Norris into the pits again. So Norris pitting for the second time this race as we now go around the outside of Piastri and retake P8. We've now got Alex Albon that we're hunting down next for P7 in the Williams. Remember, Williams have become our main rivals in this career mode at this stage, so we have to beat them. Antonelli's got past Piastri. He's now having a go at me. Nothing I could do about that. That is literally a rocket ship overtaking a supermarket trolley. Antonelli taking P5. We're in P6. Piastri is now going to want to go. But is the DRS from Antonelli going to protect us? Piastri's getting very close. It's literally just over a tenth. He's going to have a go, isn't he? That much is for certain. He didn't have a go that time round. We've got a warning for exceeding track limits there. And also, you don't want to go over that too many times. A, because of a penalty. And B, because you'll shred the underside of your car as Verstappen comes through on the left. Max Verstappen. What's he doing in P5? What happened to Max? No idea what's gone on there as Lance Stroll drops out of the race. The pace clearly too hot for him. And my front left looking very, very angry. I'm not wanting to pit again, but my front left is looking angry. And I don't think it will go until lap 27. Quite a tall order when that's what the tyres are on. Lando Norris there, getting past me pretty effortlessly then, and moving his McLaren into 6th. Yeah, it's not looking too good for us now, so we are going to have to make a second pit stop. But I'm going to go on the soft tyre and hope that if we can make just a little bit of a gain on the front runners on the tyre. But we're down to 11th. The point's not too far ahead of us, so there is a chance we can get ourselves back in the points, especially if they keep battling. However, as soon as we're out and we're back on track, the pace, it just wasn't there. And the tyre is going off very fast. So we ended up after 2 laps on about 30-something%. So I went straight into management mode for the rest of the race and just thought, let's just get it to the end. Alonso moving up into P11. I wasn't going to fight that again. We just didn't have anything to fight with him. Look how fast Bortoleto was caught. That just shows how quickly this tyre fades off. It's George Russell who takes the win of the Italian Grand Prix. Bortoleto trying to get through into 12th, and he's done it. I'm going to brake later. No, that's too late. That's too late. I've gone straight into him and smashed up my front wing. It's going to be P13. Going to try and hold on to Doohan, but if we'd have just managed our hard tyres better, points were there. Tyre management is such a key thing in this game, and we just didn't do it well enough in that one, unfortunately.
And the best of British and the best on the track. It's George Russell who wins.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So it's George Russell for Mercedes who takes the win. It's not a Verstappen win or podium. Stop the presses. Leclerc at second, Tsunoda third, Verstappen having to settle for fourth. Then it's Norris, Antonelli, Ocon, Gasly, Piastri and Albon that complete the points. For us, it's P13. 2 stops might have worked for some of the field, but it just did not work for us. The tyre management just wasn't there, and I think the overall pace as well just was a bit shaky at the best of times, and I do wonder, even with better management, would we have been able to hold on to the top 10? I don't know. But there's the standings. Verstappen's lead cut even more to 64 points, but no one's threatening that. Neither of us move forward in the drivers, nor do we in the Constructors' Championship. But, yeah, that was a tricky race. Right then, on to the announcements that we have. First things first, we have approached Antonelli and Colapinto for contracts for Season 2. Antonelli has declined the first contract, but I'm not going to give up on him yet. I still think he is a promising young driver who I'd very much like to sign for Season 2. And the second driver we've offered a contract to, Franco Colapinto, he has accepted for Season 2. So that is confirmed. Franco Colapinto is one of us for Season 2. Antonelli is a work in progress. But we are going to be dropping both Maloney and Tramnitz. Which is harsh, but I want 2 drivers that can push us forward, and I feel like the young talent in Antonelli and Colapinto, that is perfect for driving us forward. Also there, as you can see, Lewis Hamilton will be retiring at the end of Season 1. Thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. TTFN, ta-ta for now, and enjoy the rest of your day.